I've been there. You know, the moment when everything goes wrong and it feels like the universe is playing some kind of cruel joke on you. I was on a solo trip in a country I'd never been to before, and honestly, I was living my dream. I'd spent months planning it, saving every penny and imagining all the adventures ahead. But then, out of nowhere, I woke up one morning with the worst stomach pain I've ever felt in my life. Like, it was bad. The kind of bad where you know you probably shouldn't be walking around, but you don't really know what to do about it. I thought maybe it was just a bug. A little food poisoning, maybe. But the pain kept getting worse. And I knew, deep down, something wasn't right. So I did what most people would do. I Googled it. That idea. Google had me convinced that I was moments away from death, which only made me panic more. I couldn't just sit there and ignore it. I had to do something. But here's the thing. I was alone. I mean, it's one thing to get sick at home and have people to rely on, right? But here, on my own, in a completely foreign place, the only thing I had with me was a little bit of courage, and honestly, that wasn't enough. I forced myself to find a doctor, but by the time I managed to get an appointment, I could barely stand up. And when I finally saw the doctor, well, the news wasn't great. Turns out I had a pretty serious infection that needed immediate treatment. So there I was, with a prescription I couldn't read, a doctor I couldn't fully understand, and no idea how to pay for anything. This is when the panic really kicked in. What was I going to do? What if I couldn't afford the treatment? What if I couldn't find a pharmacy that had the meds? Or worse, what if I had to stay in the hospital for a while? I started to feel completely helpless. I've always prided myself on being independent, but this felt like a whole new level of overwhelming. I pulled out my phone, thinking about calling my parents, but what could they really do from halfway across the world? And then, out of nowhere, I remembered something. Travel insurance. I hadn't even really thought about it when I booked the trip. I mean, who thinks about that when you're planning what clothes to pack or figuring out what to do in your next city? But thank God I'd gotten it. I quickly pulled up the policy, called the emergency hotline, and explained the situation. The next thing I knew, I was talking to someone who actually cared. They helped me find a pharmacy that had the medication I needed. They covered the cost of the treatment, and here's the kicker, they even helped me arrange a follow-up appointment. All I had to do was focus on getting better. I felt this huge weight lift off my shoulders. It was like the worst part of the trip had finally been handled, and I could breathe again. I'm not going to lie, I don't think I would have made it through that experience as smoothly as I did without that travel insurance. It was the safety net I didn't even realize I needed. I've traveled a lot, but nothing has made me more grateful for having insurance than that one moment. So, here's the thing I want to share with you. Don't skip out on the insurance. I know it might seem like an afterthought when you're booking flights and figuring out where to eat. I get it. But the truth is, things can go wrong so fast, and it's so much better to be prepared than to risk it. If you're planning a solo trip or even a family vacation, trust me, you don't want to leave home without it. I found Auras.insure, and honestly, it's been a lifesaver. I've used it for a couple of trips now, and it's just made everything so much easier. I didn't have to worry about medical bills or scrambling to find help. It's kind of my little travel insurance hack now. I'm not here to sell you on anything. I'm just sharing what worked for me. But if you've got a trip coming up and you haven't thought about insurance yet, just check it out. It's like peace of mind in a tiny little policy, and I can tell you, it's worth it. Stay safe, travel smart, and always have a backup plan. Trust me, you'll thank me later.